We've all been spoon-fed the same fairy tale since we were kids. Two people meet, fall in love, and ride off into the sunset to live quote unquote happily ever after. It's the dream, right? But here's the thing: life is messy, mundane, and full of unpredictable moments. There's also contrast, and each of us have different stories, which wires us a different way. And none of them involve perfect endings or pre packed love. The happily ever after myth is bullshit. The real problem with this fantasy isn't just that it sets up unrealistic expectations, but it completely ignores what real relationships are built on: effort, growth, and a whole lot of uncomfortable self reflection. It's time to abandon the idea that love should be easy and embrace the reality that a fulfilling relationship requires constant work. The myth of happily ever after. Let's break down why the happily ever after myth is so damaging. The idea that once you find quote unquote the right person, everything should just fall into place is not only unrealistic but also harmful. It sets us up for disappointment. It plants the seed that any struggle, conflict, or discomfort means maybe you're with the wrong person. You start to wonder if maybe, just maybe, your soulmate is still out there waiting to sweep you off your feet and fix everything. Here's the truth: struggle is not a sign that you're with the wrong person. In fact, it's often the opposite. Struggle is a sign that you're with a human being who, just like you, has flaws, baggage, a story, an entire life's worth of experiences that has shaped them. Love is about leaning and learning how to Love is about leaning into and learning how to navigate those struggles together, not finding someone who magically makes everything easy. In relationships, we get sold this image of the perfect partner who will quote unquote complete us. We get told that if it feels hard, it must not be the right relationship. But let me tell you something: if your relationship feels too easy, maybe you're not challenging each other enough. Growth happens in discomfort, not in ease. This is something I learned the hard way: the belief that if it wasn't smooth, then it must be wrong. But that's not how it works. Think about it. If everything felt or always felt perfect, how would you ever grow? We grow when we are uncomfortable, when we're forced to confront parts of ourselves we'd rather ignore. Relationships are a mirror for all that unhealed shit we'd prefer to avoid. What does real love look like? Well, if happily ever after is a lie, what does real love look like? Real love isn't the fantasy of everything being perfect. It's not about finding someone who checks all the boxes and then never having to work on the relationship again. Real love looks like choosing each other every single day. It's waking up and deciding that even though your partner drives you crazy sometimes, they are still the person you want to build something with, the person by your side. It's sticking through the rough patches, even when it feels tempting to run. Real love looks like this: having hard conversations. You're not always going to agree, and that's okay. Real love means being willing to have the tough talks, the honest talks about money, sex, family, and all the uncomfortable things that come with being in a partnership. It's about staying present in the conversation, even when it's hard. Choosing each other every day. Loving isn't something that happens to you, it's something you choose. You wake up every day and make the conscious decision to stay committed, connected, even when things aren't perfect. Commitment means showing up even when it's inconvenient. Loving someone means going on a journey of examining self and why you behave the way you do. It means exploring wounds and the courage to heal them. Loving someone means to work on repair as a practice because ruptures are going to happen. Your relationship is only as healthy as you are. Real love means taking responsibility for your own growth and healing instead of expecting your partner to quote unquote fix you. You can't rely on someone else to make you happy. Let me say that again. You can't rely on someone else to make you happy. You need to bring your best self to the relationship. Embracing imperfection. You're going to mess up. They're going to mess up. Real love means forgiving, learning, moving forward without holding on to grudges or unrealistic expectations of perfection. It's about progress, not perfection. Here's what you should believe instead of the happily ever after myth. The truth is, a relationship isn't successful because it's free from conflict or because it gives you endless bliss. It's successful when both partners are committed to growth as individuals and as a couple. And when its parts, you and your partner create something that is greater than self, right? And then this thing that you've created will become a mirror, will become a greenhouse, will become something that grows its parts. Instead of chasing a fairy tale, here's what you should focus on: resilience over perfection. Life is going to throw curveballs your way, and so is your relationship. What matters is how you handle them. Like I said before, it's about the ruptures, the repairing of the ruptures, because ruptures are going to happen. A resilient relationship doesn't crumble when things get hard. It bends, stretches, and grows stronger because of the challenges it faces. When both partners are committed to working through difficulties, love deepens and I think also expands. Growth over comfort. If you think love is supposed to be comfortable at all the time, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Growth isn't comfortable, but it's necessary for a relationship to thrive. That means being willing to face your own flaws and work on them rather than blaming your partner for everything that goes wrong. Presence over fantasy. I think this is something I really struggle with. Love isn't about finding someone who checks off every box on your list of dream qualities, right? It's about being fully present with the person in front of you, flaws and all, contrast and all, disagreements and all. When you're constantly chasing an idealized version of your partner, or worse, an idealized version of love, you miss out on the real connection that's available in the present moment. And finally, partnership over power. A healthy relationship isn't a power struggle where one person tries to control or win over the other. It's a partnership where both people feel valued, respected, and heard. That means showing up as equals. And this is something that I talk about. I'm writing about it now in my new book. The concept of co creating, right? That both parties are creating something both unique and honest to themselves, but also they're creating something that's customized that works for both of them, which is their relationship. A partnership where both people feel valued, respected, and heard. That means showing up as equals, even when you're having a disagreement, and being willing to compromise without feeling like you're losing. The idea of happily ever after isn't bullshit because love can't last. It's bullshit because it's too shallow. It focuses on the external markers of success, the ring, the house, the Instagram worthy moments, and ignores the real work, the real beauty that comes from showing up for each other through the mess. Happily ever after isn't a destination, it's a practice, a daily one. The daily choice to love and be loved, to grow and to be present in the reality of your relationship, not some fantasy. Here's the truth about attachment styles. Actually, let me save that for a new episode. And I want to remind you before I go, my new book, Breakup on Purpose, is out for pre order. And whether you're going through a breakup now or if you have gone through a breakup before, um, that still holds you in some way. You're still stuck because of this breakup. There is residue. This is a great book to examine the black box, what happened, so you could get closure. I talk about the 8 different types of breakups because I don't think the prescription to a breakup is a one fits all. You know, a divorce with children is very different than what I call a flat soda breakup, where people broke up years before the actual breakup, right? And those breakups are different than, say, the Telemundo toxic, I need to get a restraining order breakup. What is prescribed for healing and growth is different depending on your breakup. And I wrote an entire book on it. So check that out at bit.ly, bit.ly/ all lower caps, break up on purpose. Thank you for listening.